Welcome everybody to another episode of Hey, did you see that? Podcast. Wait, that's the podcast
Nope.
where we say, "Hey, did you see that?" and then we talk about it. This is a different one. This is HomeKit Insider, and we've got some smart home news to talk about this week. Joining me, as per usual lately, is Wesley Hilliard. How you doing, man?
Well, see, I was all prepared. I'd seen so many things, and now we're not going to talk
I
about it.
know.
So no.
There was a bug on our porch the other day. I saw that. I saw a movie. That's always a thing. That's a thing you can see. Dune 2 was nice for my eyes. Lots of things we could have talked about, but instead we're going to have to talk about all the smart home stuff.
One thing I do want everyone to see is a quick plug. I just released my 1 month review, and Andrew has a video component to that. Go give it a read. Go give it a look. I think it came out pretty good for Apple Vision Pro. I never said the name of the review. Yes, the Apple Vision Pro 1 month review. I think it came out pretty great. People have been reading that, giving a lot of good compliments, and I'd like to hear what the listeners of the show think about it as well. So, and don't worry, that's it. No more Vision Pro. Moving on.
No, it was a very good read, and it was definitely one of the longer videos that I have done as well, like 15 minutes or so. And like the watch through time on it was really high, which I was very happy about. Like people were actually, clicking in and staying. So there was really encouraging metrics on the video side as well. And so much stuff to do in video for that, like testing like PlayStation 5 on the Vision Pro, like a whole thing.
Right.
So both, yeah, check out both those. I'll link them up in the show notes and everything. But as we pivot to our main things for the episode, starting off the IKEA. You ready for the Swedish word here? Dirigera, the one that we have to have translated for us. But the Dirigera Hub has now begun rolling out Matter support. So if anyone remembers, back when it was launched in 2022, IKEA was like, "Yeah, we're going to add Matter to this. It'll be coming out in the next couple months." And then that never happened. And then we went into like 2023, like, "Oh, it's coming in, like November or something." Still never happened. But here we are into 2024 by like a quarter of the way. And they're finally rolling it out. So for beta users, they can now, I believe, update to enable Matter on the Tirigera Hub. So if you have one of those and you're upgrading to Matter, let us know how that goes for you. Have you tried any of the IKEA HomeKit stuff at all, or smart home stuff, Wes?
I've been very tempted, but because it requires a hub, because you'll go to IKEA and you'll see, wow, this light bulb, it's smart. It's only like $12. And the strand lights, $30-$40. It all seems very fairly priced. And then you go to get the hub and it's like $130. And it's just like, I'm interested, but I don't want to buy another hub and have another thing to plug in and keep track of. But IKEA definitely seems to have a lot of good ideas. And every time I go back there, there's one in Virginia Beach I visit frequently. And every time I go back there, I think that today's the day I'm going to make the plunge, but I haven't done it yet.
I've not tried anything recently. And from my understanding, audience can correct me, is things are better than they used to be. Because originally, like with the light bulbs, the pairing process was brutal. And there was all of this back and forth with everything. And it was rough. But apparently now things have evolved quite a bit and things are much more rock solid. And it is encouraging to see Matter support here for those users that need Matter support. It just took a little while. It seems to be the name of the game. When it comes to Matter rollouts, they're usually kind of late, but at least it's being delivered at some point. So I'm interested in anyone who has tried this to let me know. The only IKEA stuff that I've tried recently has been the Sonos line. I think those are so cool, the Symphonisk things. So they have like speakers.
Yes, when I was using Sonos, people who keep up with me know that I actually emptied my house of Sonos products last year and switched to being HomePod only, even for my TV sets. But before that, I did have the Symphonisk lamps around. And those were really cool. I like that they were a functional piece of furniture and a speaker. Like that's really smart. I wish more people were creative like that.
I know, and I liked the bookshelf speakers were really solid because you could put them on a bookshelf, like they were not much taller than a book, so they would fit on a bookshelf, but they also sold a wall mount, and a little silicone pad. So you could mount them horizontally on your wall and turn them into a tiny table. And it was wonderful in
The-
our apartment, in our townhome. It was great to basically be able to. I paired two of them as rears for our TV, and they were extra little tables to put drinks and everything on. It was such a good idea. Like I loved it. And the more the recent ones, they have the symphonic picture frame. I have
that's the
one
one
just
I
off
think
frame
that would be
behind
cool.
me. Yeah, it's.
Setting
I
those
mean,
up as
it's a
a
large.
like surround pair behind your headrest on your bed with this like
Yeah.
beautiful artwork, but they're actually speakers. Like that's really smart, because so many people want to have better audio, and maybe it's the husband begging the stereotypical let us have a better sound system. It's like, no, I don't want to run these ugly wires and these ugly speakers. But no, they're these works of art you hang on your wall. They're beautiful, and they connect seamlessly over wirelessly to the soundbar under your TV. It can look so clean for a setup. Again, why is no one else doing stuff like this? Like Sonos and IKEA really standing out with the stuff that they've been working on.
Well, not to deviate too far, but Samsung actually started to do this. So they had their new TV or their new audio frame announced at
Okay.
CES this year.
I missed that
And
one.
that was really cool. So it's basically same thing, just going through Samsung versus
Sonos.
IKEA and Sonos and everything. And
If-
if I can, here's something interesting. There's no embargo on this, right? No.
Good question.
That's it. Before I read this, sorry, I'm like pausing to make sure. But it sounds like everything is cool. Everyone can pre-order Samsung's new TV lineup for 2024, and there's like an extra discount on them. So I can link that down below in the description. Samsung TVs do have support for like AirPlay and stuff built in, so we often mention them on the show. Rarely HomeKit because they have built-in smart things, but their new ones do have like the smart things Matter Hub, so you can use it as a Matter Hub for any of your Matter-enabled accessories, which includes like a lot of the Samsung stuff. So I do think they are worth mentioning, and I think they are a good addition to any HomeKit home. Quite a few of my TVs are Samsungs, but I've tested out like Sony's and Vizios and everything like that. But I will link up the Samsung stuff if you guys are trying to get any discounts on their new TVs.
I like using Apple's home setup, like the HomePods, right? I want to be all in on that because the ecosystem just works so much better that way when you're that way. The issue too, though, is you're really just dealing with the HomePod Mini and the HomePod. I would really like it if Apple either A, had more creativity and more speakers like Sonos, or B, if they just did a better job with AirPlay. Let's get an AirPlay 3 where there's an interoperability standard where you can have Sonos, Samsung, Apple all distributed throughout your house, but have all the same features across all of them. That would be awesome. Just imagine if you could have HomePod front-facing speakers for your television, and then rear speakers from Samsung hanging on your wall, and have them all work together. Or you could do whole home audio with AirPlay 2 as if they were HomePods, but then be separate Sonos systems. I know that some of this is possible because you can trick it with cross-device syncing. Old Sonos systems can be brought in with a new AirPlay 2 speaker. There's ways of doing it. It's just not as seamless as being HomePod only, which is, again, the reason why I switched to being HomePod only. So I think there's ways this can improve and convince me to go back to having other devices in my home besides Apple anyway.
Yeah, that's always the thing. I mean, I think people have been asking for Apple to make like a sound bar and then allow you to use two HomePods as rears. I still don't love the HomePods as TV speakers. To me, it just sounds a little bit muddied sometimes, and the bass can be a little overwhelming to make it hard for dialogue.
The lows get in the way sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly. But Apple seems to have like known this. Maybe they've just listened to me complain about it for 2-3 years. But they now have that dialogue boost as well, which I think does help things, but it's still not perfect. Like I'd also rather stick with a soundbar.
It also depends on your mix, because maybe when you tried it, there was less just Dolby Atmos content available. Anytime I'm dealing with Dolby Atmos, and that includes my PlayStation 5 now because it's been updated to support it, the HomePod's range is so much better. And I like it because it's a mental thing. You get absorbed in whatever you're doing. I get tricked all the time into thinking that I have surround sound speakers on my left, right, and even rear sometimes, because it's able to use room sensing to reflect off the walls in a way that I've heard other companies claim they can do this. I've had Samsung and Sony and all these different surround sound systems claim that they can make stuff sound like it's coming from behind you, even though it's a single sound bar. But HomePods are the only ones I've actually had it really work consistently all the time. So again, everyone do their own thing, of course, make your own choices, but I've actually really enjoyed it. And with every update, we can talk about that here or before or after the ad break, depending on what you want to do, Andrew. But there is a new iOS 17.4, tvOS 17.4 update. We maybe discuss our experience with that so far. But with every update, it's like the latency issues, if there are any, are solved. There's just the audio stuff. It's all just going so well and can only get better from here. I mean, I don't think they're going to release a breaking bug that's going to make the HomePods worthless or something as TV speakers. So if anyone has them laying around their house and don't have them connected to a TV, try hooking it up one time just to give it a try. It's really cool.
I like the Sonos Arc for me works really well. Like I can hear behind me. I constantly think I've got stuff to the left and the right, and I don't have rears. I just have the Arc plus the Sub Mini.
I never had the latest
great.
Sonos stuff, so I know it's definitely gotten better. I just never had like the latest Arc edition, stuff like that.
Absolutely. Well, we can go into the iOS stuff, but before we do, we should take a break and thank our first sponsor for this episode, one of my favorites. It is Nom Nom. That's right. It is the one that is as fun to feed to your dogs as it is to say. So, as they say, you should feed your dogs at least what you are feeding your least favorite sibling. So give them better food than the kibble that you probably typically buy. So Nom Nom is it looks like human food. Like when I last picked it up for our dogs, my wife thought it was like another meal kit for us humans and was like ready to feed it to our child. I'm like, no, that's actually for the dogs. So we got a chicken one and a turkey one, and it's full of actual ingredients that you can see. It looks like real food. And they can even be frozen so you can thaw them out and dispense them over time if you want to mix it in with your existing food. You have tons of different options made of 100% premium ingredients. No freaky fillers or funky stuff is going in there. They've already delivered over 40 million meals to dogs across the country, which is amazing. I've used Nom Nom for a while, and it is insane. Even trying to feed my dogs this, Wes, they just freak out. Like compared to the kibble, like they get excited for their kibble like normal, but when I have Nom Nom, they all line up and just start drooling like feverishly. They get so excited about it. Like you have to slow down because they love it so much. So it is absolutely like a treat when we have Nom Nom in the house. If anyone, one of you guys want to try it, which I highly would recommend, you can do so. So go right now for 50% off your no-risk 2-week trial at trynom.com/HomeKit. Spelled trynom.com/HomeKit for 50% off. Trynom.com/HomeKit. Honestly, Wes, Nom Nom is fun to say, but so is trynom.com. Like it's almost like a tongue twister. And I'm pretty sure I messed it up before, but I didn't this week.
And their marketing is fun. And I tried to mess Andrew up during his ad read by showing him a picture of my dog, but that poor cute little mutt dying for food. Think of them when you're eating your fancy steak and you're feeding them their dry kibble. Maybe treat them to something nice every now and then.
Absolutely. It's so cool. And I mean, because we would always feed our dogs like eggs and stuff like that. We have the chicken, so we're always supplementing their regular food with like actual human food and stuff. And it's such an easier way to do it. And I love that, like, even when we travel sometimes, like we'll go up to the lake house and I'll grab a couple of these packs and throw them in our cooler. And then they'll thaw and everything. We can give them when we get there. And they get so excited for it. So it's like a vacation and a treat too. So I really like Nom Nom, and so do the pups. But as you mentioned, Wes, we did have a software release this week. iOS 17.4 came out, and there wasn't anything specifically HomeKit related going on here. A bunch of changes. I did have one person reach out to me on Twitter because I think we as a society have all agreed it's just called Twitter. It's just Twitter. And they said they had some issues with their location-based automations not working after 17.4, and they had problems with their Matter-enabled accessories. They did say that they were unable to move to the new architecture because of a couple legacy devices that they still had in their home. but I wouldn't expect 17.4 to break things. So I have not had that experience. Wes, have you had that experience at all yet?
I've had the opposite experience.
Well,
We've been
that's
talking
great to
on,
hear.
yeah, we've been talking on the show for a couple weeks. I'll mention every now and then just things deciding to quit, me having to go repair it. This annoying Wemo switch we have in the kitchen and the den downstairs is just, for whatever reason, especially Matter connected accessories, just disappearing, can't connect. I have to go to Nano Leaf every now and then and just shake something loose to get it to come back. Finally, whatever this update did, the little icon in the corner that says there's things not responding, just gone. Everything's connected. Everything's working. The heater, the outlet that's connected to a heater that hasn't worked since November, which it would have been nice to have during the winter to be able to automate, but it just hasn't worked. No response all of winter, all the way through 17.3. And then 17.4 comes out and it works great. And it's 70 degrees today. So just in time. Thanks, guys. But definitely more stable home stuff for me, weirdly enough.
That's good.
Yeah.
If you guys want to know all the other things in 17.4, we have plenty of coverage. There is a dedicated video that I put out that goes through things. Pretty sure Wes wrote up the AI article on all the other changes. There's new replay highlights in music, new CarPlay stuff if you have a dual screen setup in there with maps. There's new emoji. There are improvements to stolen device protection. There are transcriptions in podcast, which is amazing. I demoed that with HomeKit Insider, and like the whole episode is just transcribed, and you can even search through those transcriptions, and it like syncs along with the words, similar to the music app and lyrics. It's wild. And then there's, of course, all those big changes for EU users, such as the third-party app marketplaces and fun things like that. There's been all the ongoing saga with Epic and its attempts to launch an app marketplace. But we'll link those as per usual. Anything that you wanted to specifically mention, Wes?
Well, there is one thing specific to, I guess, HomeKit, because we talk about HomePods. You can now, well, you can't do anything. This is the weird part. Siri, I said it out loud. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no.
Now everything's going to start echo. It turned up the volume on my iPad Mini, so that's cool. I didn't say that. That's what you
said to do. So
that is what I said to do. Anyway, the voice assistant will now use its intelligence, as Apple calls it, to automatically learn which music or podcast, or what's the third one? Music, podcasts. There's a third one. It escapes me. Audiobooks, audio mute apps. What you use for what you do. It's going to learn it automatically. Don't worry. They'll handle it. The menu that let you choose your default music player like Pandora or Spotify is now gone. All you have is a sign-in page to let you sign into those services, and then the assistant will automatically figure out what you're going to need for when. It's done. This has been around before on iPhone. It's been fine. It's just funny that they kind of walked back the manual capabilities that users have to say, no, this is what I want you to do. But this does take away the need to say, play this on Pandora every single time, or play this on Spotify or Overcast. Now it's all baked in. As long as, Spotify actually does it. They tend to not do these things. But I think it'll be interesting for people who already primarily use Pandora and other services. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's beyond music now, because before it was only music. The important thing is now you can bring in your podcast players and audiobooks without having to designate them. So that should be interesting. As long as the developers implement it, it should all work pretty seamlessly. As long as maybe the intelligence
Audible,
actually works.
So.
You use Audible? So
yeah.
There you go.
We'll try it out. Well, pushing through the news, Freepower. I haven't talked about them in a hot second, but they have announced basically their next implementation that they are working on. So if anyone is unfamiliar, this is basically a free placement wireless charging system. So it's a series of like coils that ideally would be embedded underneath a surface, and then you would just set your phone down and it would start charging. There's no need to align it. There's no need to, do anything else. And I know what people are saying, probably Wes right now. Oh, you already don't have to worry about alignment with MagSafe. But this is meant to be more invisible and just turn existing surfaces that you have into wireless chargers. So what they have kind of announced here is they have new in-counter wireless charging. So it basically gets mounted inside or underneath things like marble or granite, and then you can like move your phone over top, and a little halo light will appear. It'll like detect your phone being waved above it, and it'll highlight where the charging area is, which is a fairly large area. Like for anyone watching, I would say like 6 by 10, roughly maybe 5 by 10 something. Perfect. Wes has got it up on the screen. Yeah, so you just wave your phone, it automatically shows that area. You place your phone down anywhere within that area. It'll optimize positioning with the coils that are closest to give you the fastest possible charge. And you can even charge multiple phones in that area. So set your phone down and your AirPods down, or 2 phones. I think maybe up to 3 devices, at least is what they used to be. But I think it's a really great idea. And they're fighting with wireless charging like Qi 2. Yeah.
I was going to say, so what are we dealing with here as far as charging speeds? If it's Qi charging and not the new Qi 2, is it 7.5 watts, 5 watts, 15 watts? Where are we?
This is 7.5 watts, I believe. I don't know if it's technically Qi because of the placement if it's outside of that spec. If it's kind of like their own,
they're kind of going rogue here.
Design. Yeah, and I think they're looking at, because ideally, like, this is being built into countertops. You could charge other things just by having it placed there. Imagine being able to take something like your blender out and set it on the counter, and if you're setting it above the charger, it would have power and start, going. Which also, Qi has its own version of like kitchen wireless power that it's developing. But you could do something like that. You could do something similar with power tools, like have it built on your work desk, and then just set like your drill down. It would start charging whenever you have it just sitting on your workstation. In your car, Qi 2 is nice, but not everything supports Qi 2. So if Apple or whoever, Tesla, built in a Qi 2 charger, right now it's going to immediately knock out all Android phones because there's like nothing on the Android side of things that supports Qi 2. And it would only support like iPhones. Eventually we'll get there, but I think that's years away. Something like this could be a pad inside your car in the armrest, in the center console somewhere. Just set your phone down, immediately starts wirelessly charging. So I think there's applications for this, and this is a really cool new way of doing it. And I like how elegant it looks, just built into the counter like that.
This is really cool, but I have multiple issues. First, your phone doesn't lay flat on a surface, which means that the charging coils will never lay flat on the charging surface, which means you're going to lose efficiency right off the bat. So you're wasting energy. And then you're also making a dedicated piece of furniture in your home capable of becoming obsolete. It doesn't matter if it's a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that countertop, that beautiful marble, whatever it is that you've done, will eventually become obsolete and also could fail and need replacing. I don't think this is going to be a cheap setup. It's not that I'm against it. It's cool. Infinite Money would have these all over the house. Like, I like the idea. It's just, there's definitely inherent flaws to this that MagSafe solves by having dedicated places that you put it. It's a puck, so it's raised off the table, so the camera bump isn't an issue. These camera bumps are only going to get bigger every year. You can replace them easier because they're not a dedicated piece of furniture. But I definitely like what they're doing, and I think maybe as time goes on, this company, Freepower, they will evolve their setup, evolve what they're doing, and be better about maybe not so much permanence, but imagine having a little thing, like a little marble slab you put on a table. That's a little more replaceable than having like a dedicated counter space that's installed permanently. So what do you think?
But the thing is, so one, going obsolete. Who cares? You just don't use it anymore. Like on the top, if anyone saw this on the video, it looks just like a marble countertop. You don't see anything. So if it's disconnected from power, you stop using the charger, you still just have a marble countertop. Nothing looks any different, and no big difference here. Like, it's literally just recessed out of the bottom. Two, if something would break, my guess is you're not replacing the entire marble countertop. You're probably just going to remove a couple of screws and replace the coil system underneath. Technically, there could be the possibility of upgrading it down the line as well. So you have like possibilities to help future-proof it there, having it already built in. You've of course, MagSafe is nicer, but
This feels if they are smart enough to go the upgrade route and have a little bit more configurable hardware, I feel like this would be really cool. Like I can imagine like the desk I have here, if I could insert a piece of desk or wood that had this system built into it that could be configurable and exchangeable, like that would be really smart. That'd be really cool. But some of that video did seem like, yeah, marble countertop in your kitchen. It just I can imagine that easily costing $3,000. I didn't look at the prices, but I feel like this is definitely pricey if depending on what kind of unit you're dealing with. So if you want to do it, go nuts. It looks cool. I think we talked about this before, at least on the show did talk about it before. Is this something that commercial installations are looking at?
Yeah, I believe this is on the commercial side. My guess is it would only be a few hundred. I mean, you're basically just adding a free replacement wireless charger into the countertop, and this is something that
I'm talking about the material.
Restaurants, bars, home developers can just add in. Like you come in like, oh yeah, this is your countertop in your bathroom. You can just set your phone down here, wait your phone, and charge it. You don't have to put anything on your counter. You don't have to have anything plugged in up there. Like it's all done for you. So I can see this just being built into homes.
Oh yeah, I would assume the wireless charging portion of this being the inexpensive part, just the very custom refined marble or wood selections that they have probably is what actually adds to the price. And that's where
my guess is they're probably just going to give the specs to the home developer and just cut out this shape from their marble.
Okay, makes sense.
And leave the top surface this thin, whatever.
You've convinced me. I'm just going to build my whole house made of this.
Done. We've done
Put it in the sidewalk. Yeah.
Well, now that Wes has been convinced, let's move to the next piece of news on the list. We have it back. It is coming back again. I love this. I love talking about developers, but it is the indie app sale going on again. So this is linked in the description. There's hundreds of apps here, Wes. I 200. How many?
209. I'm looking on the website.
209. And there are a bunch of ones that are HomeKit specific. So there's home batteries on the list. Home buttons is on the list. Home cam, home log, home pass, home run. Those are all here on this one. There is, and we've talked about so many of these on the show before. Mason Mage for Matter and HomeKit. That's on the list. Signals for HomeKit. Follow the Sun is here. There are so many apps on this list that you guys can go pick up for really good discounts. It's running. Let's see, what are the times here that this is running? I'm also trying to watch my security camera because we're waiting on the new MacBooks to come, but it is not
Spoilers.
Here yet, this runs the 12th through the 13th. So you guys are listening to this episode hopefully on the 11th, and then this will be running for Tuesday and Wednesday, those 2 days. There's also some apps on here for Vision Pro too. So if you were an adopter of Vision Pro, maybe you can get some apps there as well. Because there's a couple apps, Wes, like that look really neat, but the prices are so high. I'm like, oh.
They're definitely priced to say, you just bought a $3,500 headset. Give me money. And that's fine. Do it. Developers, don't be discouraged. Charge $50 for your app if you think it's worth that much, but make sure it's worth that much. I've seen a couple on there that's $25 for a pool app that doesn't even work. It says in the description, we've built the environment where you can walk around the pool table, but you can't play pool yet. But give us $25. Just, pay attention to what you're getting on there.
Yeah. Okay, so before we have let's hit one more piece of news, then we'll get into a hands-on. So SwitchBot has announced another new smart lock. So this is the SwitchBot Lock Pro. It's a retrofit lock coming to both the EU and the US. Some cool tech in here. So basically, it's actually similar to the Ikea one, where you like put the key into the lock and everything to make it work, but it looks very slick. Fingerprint built in. There's a keypad built in. I know Wes is against the 8 methods of entry, but hey, people who want them, it is there. They say there are 15 different ways to use this thing. 15 ways.
It's a lot.
For Apple Home users, yes, there is Apple Home when you are using Matter. So if you have the SwitchBot Hub, supports Matter that way to bring it into the Home app. But basically cylinder locks, knob cylinders, all these different things. Fits a ton of different locks, multiple different markets here. Pretty cool. They say it's Jimmy proof. It supports more T-locks, single cylinder deadbolts, a whole bunch of different things here. Man, one-time passcodes, timed fingerprints, NFC tags, widgets. There's NFC cards, voice control. No home key yet. That's the one downside here. But yeah,
Right.
another lock launching, and it is up for pre-order now. 119 for the Lock. I read Pro. That's where I got those. I'll combine
Fun.
those words. The Lock Pro by itself is up for pre-order at 119, and then the Lock Pro plus Hub Mini with the Matter, that'll take it up to 160, and then there's a coupon code on there as well, so it's actually like that'll take it down $40 to 110 with the SwitchBot Matter Hub. So
A
what do you think of this, Wes?
rechargeable battery pack. That's pretty cool. I like the rechargeable battery pack option they have here. I always hear these companies say Jimmy proof and you won't get past this lock, but you know what isn't Jimmy proof, Andrew? Windows. I know I always harp on this. Just, these are really cool. Just keep in mind they're security, but not going to prevent people from getting in if they want to get in. But this is nice. I mean, I have the super expensive fancy hideaway, what is that? Level lock plus, I think it is, that has home key. So yeah, believe me, I've spent my fair share of money on home security. It is funny to me. It's just like, no one's going to break into your house as long as they're not getting past our door lock. But every other entrance says, sorry, can't help you there. What could you imagine? Shatterproof windows like HomeKit and all that stuff. How long until we have someone just build a house and say, here, this is another
Tesla
there's prefab
Elon
houses,
has promised that the doors will be bulletproof and the windows will be steel ball proof. So both are covered.
That'll go about as well as building a tunnel, I assume. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay, well, I have one hands-on to get to before we dive into it. Let's thank our second sponsor for the episode. You know them. We love them. It is Shopify. Shopify is the platform that you need when you are building out your website for e-commerce online, whether you are selling physical goods, digital goods, whether you are selling, subscriptions. Like, you can do everything with Shopify. It is a huge platform that both developers love, brands love, and customers love. Wes, tell me why you love Shopify.
Well, it's all over the web. And as soon as you see that information page with the various payment types, you know that you're using a Shopify page. They don't even have the logo on the page. It's a white label, but you know you're on Shopify, and that makes you feel much safer. I mean, I've purchased a few things this past week. I'm a shopaholic. I'm always buying things, and ordered some shoes off of Adams, Adams shoes, and I got some stuff from Mack Weldon. They got a new nice button-up shirt that I wanted. Both of those use Shopify. Ordered this Nomad case for my phone a couple weeks ago that just sticks to the back, a little leather sticker almost. Also Shopify. It's everywhere, and I appreciate that. I like the uniformity. I like the fact that as soon as I'm there, it's safe, good to go. I don't have to worry about my information going some weird place. They offer Apple Pay. It's all the stuff I want to see on a website.
Absolutely. Supports Apple Pay. You can then move your order to the Shop app where it'll actually track it from placing the order to fulfillment to shipping, delivery, rating it, all that kind of stuff. There's a mass amount. 10% of all e-commerce in the US uses Shopify. It's behind Allbirds, Rothy's, Brooklinen, millions of more across 175 different countries. Plus, there's other perks too. They say they have the best converting checkout, 36% better compared to other leading commerce platforms. And they have this special Shopify magic that helps sell more with this AI power tool. Very, very cool. So if anyone in listeners is interested, whether you are making a website, you're looking to improve your website, you can sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/HomeKit, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/HomeKit now to grow your business. No matter what stage you are in, shopify.com/HomeKit. What's the one, aside from all like the Apple benefits, like the Apple Pay, I actually really like how a small brand and a massive brand all can use Shopify. Like, I think that's so powerful just across the board. Like, something that is huge, as big as like Allbirds and Brooklyn, and can be used by a startup that's not only cost efficient, but gives them all these fancy abilities. Like,
Right, yeah,
It's really cool.
you're going shopping and you see this cool. Everyone's guilty of it. You're on Instagram, you're on Facebook. You see this silly thing that's probably stolen from Alibaba and resold for $1 million more, but you want to check it out anyway. You click on it. It takes you to this indie website. It's cute. It's beautifully built. And you're still like, I don't know, this is sketchy. And then you get to the checkout page and it's Shopify. And then all your worries are gone. It's fine. So definitely, again, peace of mind, just doing things with money is always nice.
Absolutely. So I've been testing these out for a little while, Wes. I like air purifiers. Or maybe I don't necessarily like them, but I feel like they're necessities in this house because of the number of things living in it. I mean, we've got multiple cats, 3 dogs now.
It's a farm.
3 humans.
A donkey, a cow, a rooster. Yeah.
Pretty well, they're all just chickens. We don't have any roosters. They're all hens, I guess. So no roosters, but we do have quite a bit of animals. So I have tested a lot of air purifiers. Now, before we get into this, I can't even say that this is the best air purifier or the best at air purifying. And I didn't have this impression, but I had talked to other people about air purifiers, and people are very dubious because it's one of the things that you can't really test, like not that easily. And even tests that people do, like big brands, are even called into question on the efficacy. So
there's been conversations
tough
around that for sure.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a difference between 2 different things. One, like sneezing still happens, the amount of like dust and stuff that gets into the air, and then 2, the smells of things. Cats can smell. Hello, there's one walking in right now as I'm recording. But this air purifier replaced my vocal link that I had in our master bedroom because we had the vocal link in there for a long while, and it was really hard to get filter replacements for them. So I eventually swapped it out when I ran out of filters. And this is the Mila, Mila. Wes has been showing photos of it while we were talking about it here. While
I was trying to
hands-on. Exactly. But basically, I think this is a very nice looking air purifier. So it is white all the way around, at least the one that I have is, and there's little wood legs on the bottom. It looks really elegant. It doesn't look like a unsightly piece of tech. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, the website marketing says everyone else is ugly, we're cute. But yeah, it's a cute air purifier. I'll give it that.
So they also have different types of filters. So they have one called like the basic breather. So just the love of clean air is what they say. There's ones that's called the big sneeze, which is specifically designed to help fight allergens that are in the air. So they have like different specs on these. So like there's different types of HEPA filter. So there's like for the basic one, it's an H12 HEPA filter. Then the allergen one is an H13. So it's a little bit better at taking out things from the air. Then you have one that's like the rookie parent, which is designed for babies and toddlers and things like that. There's the critter one. So this is what we have. And it actually is designed to have heavy duty carbon. So they've gone up from like 0.7 pounds of carbon to 0.84 pounds of carbon, plus the H13 HEPA filter, so higher filter on there. They also have an extra cover around the outside for blocking more particles. They call it the Mila sock, but it is washable and can help pull out more stuff from the air. There's a few different ones in here, but they all have these different things. The ones for the animal also supposed to be able to get rid of like the ammonia smell that can come from cats. So there's all these different things that they have based on what you're doing. And I think that's really unique to have different filters based on different use cases. They actually can show you how they change those filters based on what your needs are. And there is like a catch-all, like just a very super protective one. It's called the overreactor. And it's got an H14 filter in there. So super duper heavy duty HEPA filter, 1.25 pounds of carbon. Like, dang. And carbon is what's going to pull out things like VOCs and smells in the air. Really, really useful. So there's all sorts of things here. I think that's really neat. It does work with HomeKit. So this was announced at CES. They've been around for a little while, but their new one does work with HomeKit natively. So I just set it up, go through the app, And then I just enabled the HomeKit functionality, and boom, in the home app, and I could control it just like I normally would. So if we pull up my phone here, for anyone who's watching on the video side of things, here is like what I'll lower the brightness a little bit so my screen doesn't wash out, but that's my control center. Mila app looks very nice and pretty. I like the looks of it. You got graphs in here. So there's my air quality over time. There's a ton of sensors that this actually adds to the home app. So if I go into our home app, go to filter by climate and pull this up, it doesn't just have in things like the air quality and the filter. It has all this extra stuff. So if I filter this out to how do I even view all the different accessories that are built in by one? But they have the air purifier itself with all the different modes and all of that. But they have things like, I'm pretty sure a occupancy sensor is in here, so you can like see when someone is in the room. There's all extra things built into this. Humidity sensor, I believe, is built into there. I hate if I'm like saying these that are wrong, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's a humidity sensor in here. It does so many things. So I really like this. This is a very powerful one for HomeKit. It has a really nice look and customizable filters that you can choose based on your needs. Wes, do you have any questions about this? Because I know I just talked for a really long time.
What's your strategy for these things? Because you say you like these, so I'm assuming you have a lot of different kinds of air purifiers. I'm assuming you probably also have humidifiers and dehumidifiers. You probably pit them against each other in a battle in every room. And so my question is, what is your strategy as far as placing these? Like, air purifiers tend to be large. They have fans. They can make noise. Do you try to hide them away, or do you want them out in front? Something like the Mila, I could see being visible. It's not unpleasant to look at. It can blend into the background. So, what's your strategy with having these throughout your house?
So we have a few different strategies. The Mila is just in like our master bedroom where we have a litter box in our bathroom there, so it's able to kind of filter all of that air and think about the bedroom for us. Looks nice enough. It's clean looking. It fits into our bedroom aesthetic well. We have a Blue Air, I can't remember what the name of it is. It doesn't have HomeKit, but it's a smart one, and that's in our living room because it's a little bit higher capacity for that area and has a really good, easily removable, washable exterior cover because that's where we have like a lot of the bunny and pet hair that can like block things up. So I like that I can just peel that off, wash it, put it back on. You can obviously see it because it's a little bit more out in the open, but it does more work out there. We have a Dyson one also next to our bunny cage that just kind of hides in the corner and just provides like additional airflow. I have a large one in the basement that helps down here. We just have a large open basement. We do have another litter box down here, so it helps with any animal smells that we have, as well as anything like, if there's any mold or things floating around in our basement air, that gets all filtered out. We have one in Harrison's room and one in our my wife's office. She has one in there as well. Most of the other ones are smaller, like the Molecule. They're a little bit smaller, meant for bedrooms and small spaces. But our strategy is generally one in each room. We have so many pets and everything. I think it helps with the air smell. I think it helps with allergens and dander and stuff that's in the air.
Yeah, I've seen ones that look.
It's peace of mind.
I've seen like ones that you can buy that are the size of a router that can sit on your desk even. Like for my office that you can see it. There's not much else to see. There's a couple of walls here, like a little air purifier would probably be fine for this room. And I don't let pets in here
Get the
anyway.
Dyson headphones that also gives you a Bane mask.
Yeah, there we go. And then I'll wear that with the Vision Pro and the AirPods Max, and I'll be full robot. Yeah.
Well, the Dyson one has headphones. You don't need the AirPods Max.
Oh, okay. Well, so I like the idea. I have an air purifier in my room. It was the first one I ever really messed with, VocalLink, the HomeKit one, and it's nice. I just ordered a new set of filters for it for the first time in a year because I forgot, but it's been doing fine. We only have a few animals, and it's a sizable enough house that it's not just filled with pet dander, so we've been doing fine. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having one in the dining room, in the kitchen, or in the living room, just to kind of help keep things clean, help the robot do a little bit of work as it mops and stuff. So maybe get some of the dust out of the air, because I've noticed dust, just my goodness. I wonder if these would help a little bit with that with the filters. So yeah, I like the idea. The Mila one looks like a smart one.
And my wife can definitely tell, like, she's like, it smells in here, and we'll go and look, and like Harrison turned it off. this does have a child lock, so you can prevent it from being poked by a child.
Nice.
But yeah, she can tell immediately when like the air purifier has been turned off because it'll start to smell, or her eyes will get like itchy or something. Like, oh shoot, and she'll go and look behind the bunny cage, and yeah, sure enough, that one's been turned off. So there is a difference when we have them on versus off, even if it's just like anecdotal evidence. And it's hard to say one is better than the other. But this one, I do like the number of additional accessories that it pulls into the Home app, which I think gives it more value. It's also fun. It's kind of quirky. There's like little sayings it'll have on the screen, which is right on the top. So if you like poke it and ask things, it'll have like little sayings and stuff of just like, oh, I've been keeping an eye on things, nothing to report yet, and other little stuff like that. Like it's kind of got like a personality to it. I don't know. Maybe I just like the cutesy stuff of it, but this is high on my list of air purifiers that I'd probably recommend.
See, we're a candle household, so we just disguise the stinky cats with candles. It works out most of the time, but I think an air purifier would help. I have had to laugh though, because we'll light a candle in my room and have the air purifier running, and then you see the parts per million go up, and it's just like, oh yeah, we're burning a candle.
Yep.
But
I know we like candles too, but they're all supposed to be bad for cats. So like, especially in like smaller spaces. So that's why I don't like lighting them like too often. Sure. But I don't know. It's always a battle. Like when we have people over, for sure lighting a candle and I'm turning everything on max. I also have these additional filters that I put on top of our ceiling fan in our like living room. And when the ceiling fan spins, it has carbon and a filter, and it kind of brushes the air as your fan is spinning. That's cool. Like an extra little clean air thing that we use that I also, at least in my head, it does something.
They're probably doing something, yeah. Well, I think that's a show.
They are. I think it is. That was still quite a bit of stuff that we walked through today. Everyone, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of Wes and I's Vision Pro 1 month reviews. Let us know your mileage with iOS 17.4. Let us know if you happen to have a Digera hub and you're updating it to Matter on the beta. Let us know if you would use in-counter wireless charging, or if you just want to put a MagSafe or Qi 2 charger there. Lots of stuff that we're asking for you guys this week. And as always, please go ahead and give us a 5, 10, 100-star review on your favorite podcast app of choice. Why not try Apple Podcasts and check out the live transcription of this episode? Is it getting all the things I'm saying? Nom, 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 nom. Let me know. I got to check it out if it got all of those noms in that transcription. Wes, thank you for joining me today, and we'll catch everybody next week.
Talk then.